Have you ever thought about the common weaknesses in most Nigerian men that usually impedes their progress? In the grand tapestry of life, we are all woven with threads of weaknesses, but the understanding and acceptance of these weaknesses usually becomes the stepping stone to self-improvement. So, let's delve into the common weaknesses that most Nigerian men often grapple with, in other words, the unseen hurdles that curtail their growth and progress. The first profound weakness is ego. Though ego serves as an essential part of our psyche, helping us assert our identity and establish boundaries, but an unchecked ego can lead to damaging consequences. The second profound weakness is the fear of vulnerability and lack of emotional expression. There seems to be a deeply ingrained notion that vulnerability equates to weakness, a fallacy that can stifle emotional growth and connection. The fear of appearing weak often locks Nigerian men in an emotional fortress, distorting their perception of self and others. Then, we have overconfidence, a deceptive weakness that's often mistaken for strength. Overconfidence can blind many Nigerian men to their shortcomings, hindering self-awareness and personal growth. It's like cruising on a highway with a blindfold, oblivious to the pitfalls ahead. The fourth weakness is the lack of self-care. Most Nigerian men often prioritize work, family, and societal expectations over their own well-being. This disregard for self-care can lead to physical and mental health issues, affecting their overall quality of life. The final weakness revolves around uncontrolled lust. Sex is a natural part of life, but when lust goes unchecked, things can quickly spiral out of control. We all have desires, but learning to manage our desires is essential for living a balanced and healthy life. These weaknesses are not set in stone. They're merely challenges waiting to be overcome, opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Each of us has the potential to turn our weaknesses into strengths and grow beyond societal norms and expectations. Indeed, recognizing these weaknesses is the first step to overcoming them. So let's get started with the first weakness. Number 1. The ego. Most Nigerian men often let their ego take center stage in their life. This ego commands their attention, dictates their actions, and often leads them astray. These men's ego can be intoxicating, seductive, and dangerously persuasive. It's the puppeteer constantly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Picture this: a man at the peak of his career, a CEO of a thriving company. His success is unmatched, his power unrivaled, but with each win, his ego inflates, and he begins to see himself as infallible. He disregards advice, dismisses criticism, and soon, his decisions lead to the company's downfall, a classic tale of ego leading to self-destruction. Also consider a charismatic politician who's at the top of his game. He has a loyal following, he wins every election, and he is known to be a master of the game. But as his success grows, his ego also grows. He starts to believe he can do no wrong, and his arrogance blinds him to the opinions and advice of others. Soon enough, his decisions start to have disastrous consequences, leading to him being thrown out of office. It's a harsh reality, but a perfect example of how ego can turn gold into dust. A bloated ego is often regarded as the biggest weakness of most Nigerian men because these men actually think their ego is a strength. Their ego also hurts their relationships because their desire to always be right often overshadows their feelings for their wives or girlfriends. It prevents them from admitting their mistakes, leading to unresolved conflicts and unsuccessful relationships. Allowing our ego to endure or grow can lead to significant problems in various other life domains. It can also hinder personal growth by creating a false sense of superiority and blocking constructive criticism. Ego makes us arrogant, narrow-minded, and stubborn. It can lead to poor decision-making and resistance to feedback. It clouds our judgment, leads us astray, and often results in regret. But remember, we are not helpless victims. We have the power to tame this beast. Regular self-reflection can help identify ego-driven behaviors. Encouraging friends, family, and colleagues to provide honest feedback about your behavior can help identify when your ego is taking control. Overcoming ego also requires humility, the ability to accept our faults, and the willingness to learn from others. It's about recognizing that success is a collective effort and that no one stands tall on an empty stage. Number 2. Lack of emotional expression and fear of vulnerability. Next, let's look at the lack of emotional expression and fear of vulnerability among many Nigerian men. This is not about pointing fingers or laying blame, but rather, it's about understanding the roots of a behavior that can have serious impacts on mental health. This fear of vulnerability makes many Nigerian men suppress their emotions, which often leads to a buildup of stress and, in some cases, serious mental health issues. It's like a pressure cooker, where the heat and pressure continue to build until eventually it cannot be contained. But why is this? Why do most Nigerian men feel the need to suppress their feelings? Well, it's often due to societal expectations and stereotypes about masculinity. Nigerian men are often taught from a young age to be tough and strong, and showing emotions is sometimes seen as a sign of weakness. So, how can you overcome this fear of vulnerability? The first step is acknowledging the problem. It's okay to express feelings, to be vulnerable. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength and resilience. Next, practice expressing emotions in safe environments. It could be with a trusted friend or family member, or even with a mental health professional. Anger or rage are not productive and effective ways to express emotions. Not only do they have the potential to harm those around us, but they can also lead to regret and further emotional turmoil. For a lot of men, it takes a great deal of self-awareness and self-control to manage emotions in a healthy way, but it's a skill that can be learned with practice and patience. As men, we must work on taking a step back, calming down, and working through our feelings and expressing emotions in a positive manner. And finally, practice self-compassion. Accept that you're human, and humans are flawed. It's okay to make mistakes, to have fears and insecurities. What matters is that you learn from them and grow from them. To wrap it up, the fear of vulnerability can be a significant hurdle. It can hinder a man's personal growth, affect his relationships, and leave him feeling isolated. Suppressing emotions is not a solution, but rather, it's a ticking time bomb. Expressing emotions in responsible ways doesn't make you less of a man, it makes you a healthier man. Number 3. Overconfidence. When it comes to confidence, there's a fine line between having just the right amount and having too much. But it's not always easy to find that sweet spot, and overconfidence often creeps up on these Nigerian men before they even realize it. Like a double-edged sword, confidence can be both powerful and dangerous. On one hand, confidence can give you the courage to pursue your goals and dreams, even when the path ahead seems daunting. But on the other hand, too much confidence or overconfidence can often blind you to your weaknesses and flaws, leading to mistakes and missteps that can cost you dearly. So, while confidence is certainly a good thing, it's always best to approach it with a healthy dose of self-awareness and humility. The approach here is balance. It's about recognizing your strengths, but also acknowledging your weaknesses. It's about striving for greatness, but also understanding the value of caution. While confidence can be a powerful tool to help us achieve our goals, sometimes that confidence easily transforms into overconfidence, and when that happens, we become blinded to our weaknesses and limitations. We begin to believe that we are invincible, that nothing can stand in our way, but this attitude can lead to costly mistakes and missteps that can undo all our hard work. Just think about some of the most famous examples of overconfidence throughout history, whether it's the Titanic's captain who thought his ship was unsinkable, or the countless CEOs who failed to anticipate major market changes. The consequences of overconfidence can be devastating. So as a Nigerian man, the next time you find yourself feeling a little too confident, take a step back and ask yourself if you're really seeing the whole picture, and your future self will surely thank you for it. Number 4. Lack of self-care. Now, let's talk about the lack of self-care, often overlooked, but extremely important. In a world that constantly pushes us to keep moving, be productive, and achieve more, it's easy for many Nigerian men to forget the importance of pausing to care for themselves. We're not talking about indulgent spa days or extravagant vacations, but the basic, everyday self-care that keeps us grounded, healthy, and at our best. When these men neglect their self-care, it can lead to a host of problems, both physical and mental. It's like driving a car without regular maintenance. Sure, it might run smoothly for a while, but eventually, it's going to break down, and the cost of repairs will be much higher than if we'd just taken care of it from the start. Physically, lack of self-care in these Nigerian men can manifest as fatigue, poor diet, lack of exercise, and even chronic illness. Mentally, it can lead to burnout, stress, depression, and anxiety. It's a cycle that's hard to break once it starts, but the good news is it's never too late to start caring for yourself. Incorporating self-care into your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking a few minutes to breathe deeply, eating nourishing food, getting regular exercise, or even just getting a good night's sleep. It's about making conscious choices to prioritize your well-being, even when life gets busy. Taking care of yourself isn't just good for you, it's necessary for you to be there for others in your life. Your well-being really does matter, so you should take care of yourself. Number 5. Lust. Lust can be a powerful force for many Nigerian men, and it's not always easy to control. It's important to recognize that there is a difference between a healthy sexual desire and uncontrolled lust. Whether it's that adrenaline rush they feel when they see a beautiful woman or the desire to satisfy a physical craving, uncontrolled lust can lead to some pretty reckless behavior in Nigerian men of all ages. In other words, it's a slippery slope that can lead these men, both young and old, down a dangerous path. While no one can deny the appeal of a beautiful face or stunning body, it's important to remember that lustful thoughts and actions can have far-reaching negative effects on the lives of these men, altering their behavior, altering their priorities, and affecting their overall well-being. Whether it's a fleeting moment of attraction or a persistent desire, the impact of lust in the lives of these men must never be underestimated. Lust often leads to significant changes in the behavior of these men, resulting in compulsive actions, with the constant pursuit of sexual gratification taking precedence over other activities. Lust can lead to risky sexual behavior and unhealthy habits. Recognizing and acknowledging lustful feelings is the first step towards managing them. By learning to manage their impulses and channel their energy in productive ways, these men can take control of their lives and find a healthy balance between their desires and their responsibilities. Cultivating deep and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and emotional connection can also help balance lustful desires. Through self-reflection, mindfulness, and intentional decision-making, these Nigerian men can learn to channel their passions in ways that are healthy, fulfilling, and respectful of themselves and others.
Thanks for joining us today. Do you agree or disagree with what has just been said? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed our content, please tip us with a like, hit that bell icon to stay updated, and don't forget to subscribe.